Good morning. This is Mr. Burns, CPDLF science instructor, and it is Monday, January 29th. I hope this midwinter time is that you're dealing with it okay. I get cabin fever and I just want it to be over. I'm a runner and I like to get out and do that during the good weather, but right now it's pretty tough. But this is the end of January, so we're maybe a third of the way through it, or even more. So it'll come before you know it. Okay, last week we did quiz 1. It was chemical reactions at 7.8. We did enthalpy of reaction 7.9, and we did heat transfer 7.10. Most of you have done very well on those. I know there's some questions on balancing chemical reactions, and that's okay. Balancing chemical reactions is something that you have to practice. Basically, all that you can say is that you need to have the same number of atoms of each element on both sides of the equation. And so you have to work with that. The way you're going to work with that is to remember that the coefficients, that's the numbers to the left of the compounds on both sides, multiply the whole compound, like all the atoms in that are multiplied by that number, okay, in a compound. Subscript is the small number to the right of an element, and that only multiplies that element by itself, okay? And if you have a compound, we'll say CaCO3, and if that's in parentheses and it has a 2 on the outside of it, then everything inside there is multiplied by that 2. So O3 would mean that you actually have 6 oxygens because the whole thing's multiplied by 2. So you have to play with those numbers. Don't play with the subscripts. Never do that. They are what they are. But you have to play with the coefficients on both sides to balance it out. Okay, and also enthalpy. Enthalpy is a measure of the energy within a system. It's usually heat energy. In fact, you can use that about interchangeably for heat energy. Okay, for this week, we're going to do calorimetry, lesson number 711. By the way, these 7s that I'm saying can also be 1s because you're in the second half of the course in the second semester, and so sometimes they're referred to as 1s. But calorimetry, 711, using Gibbs free energy to predict spontaneous reactions, 712. Quiz 2, chemical change to entropy and Gibbs free energy, 713. Factors that affect reaction rates, solution concentration, 714. And an experiment, effect of solution concentration on reaction rate, 715. Now, I know some of you have been in those already, and that's fine. Just keep on moving ahead. But for those of you that are just getting into them now, some of the concentration things can take a little bit of practice, too, to get used to. If you need any help with that, be sure to send me a message, and I'll get back with you. Okay, our reflection question for this week is, what is an exothermic reaction? What is an exothermic reaction? Be sure to answer that when you watch this launch so that you get credit for doing the launch. That's the only way you'll get credit. Okay, have a great week and try to keep up with everything. And before we know it, spring will be here. So I'm sure we'll be talking during the week. Bye now.